All right, there we go. Good. All right, I was gonna. Can anybody tell me what I was doing? 60 seconds before I started. Anybody? Anybody? Who knows me well? Who knows me well? Uh, Same thing every time, my friend. Same thing every time. Motley Crue, baby. Knock 'em dead, kid. Hey, listen. How many of you, and maybe if you've read it in the past, and maybe you just say, ah, man, I can skip past that. But how many of you watched the little video I sent you today in the email with Think and Grow Rich, right? With Napoleon Hill, right? It's different. Hey, Michael Bailey, good to see you, man. Um, Man, like everybody knows that I'm kind of a softy with older people, right? I love wisdom, right? And that's what I love the most about. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? That's what I love the most about Napoleon Hill, man. You can hear him talking about a record, right? And what he's talking about is not like anything new, right? It's proven. And did you hear the people that he was talking about? Freaking Rockefeller, man. So there's a little bit of truth to the substance on that, okay? And and the one thing that I found and find in my life to be 100% true, and you hate to admit it, man, because it kind of sounds a little foofy at first, is man, you hear how much of it was mindset, how much of it was getting his head right, and honestly, like if we could just have our mom in our corner all the time, we could really kick some ass, right? Because she thinks she hung the moon, right? So if we just have our mom always pumping us up before we did things, we really would think we were the baddest SOB that walked through there. We would look like banty roosters walking in, right? But unfortunately, we don't. So we have to learn how to motivate ourselves that way. And if you ever meet, here, let me fix this. If you ever talk to anybody that knows me well, they'll all of them will say, man, like to a point of like prodigy, like oddly, I'm the most motivated, self-motivated person you'll ever meet. And the reason why is I got to keep myself motivated. I got to keep everybody around me motivated, because if they start not being motivated, then I tend to not get motivated. And I need sunshines and rainbows, baby. You know what I'm saying? So um, I've never had a problem with it, but I got to be honest. I do it with kind of like duping myself in my mindset. You know what I mean? Almost make myself a legend in my own mind. You know, like I really buy in on what I'm saying and have a whole different Richter scale and Mendoza on the way I judge and measure characters on things, right? But because I believe in what I do, right? So you gotta get that where you're at, where you might want to kind of where you need to be, right? Process, right? In the sales development game. And then two, we got the energy up in the room, and we started changing the energy, getting people competitive, and started holding ourselves accountable. And man, one lady did a six-figure business in one day. She closed $8,000 accounts. Um, it's possible. Did everybody hear the audio go in and out, or is it just me? I'm on the third floor. I can jump off the roof if it does. No, it's okay. Pat, it might just be you, man. Okay, Lou says it's going in and out. I think okay, it's good now. Okay. Hey, Lou, good to see you, man. Uh, old familiar face there. Good to see you. I sent an email back to you. We did some emails back and forth. Let's make sure we connect. All right, man. I want to make sure we're all on the same page and good to go. Oh, I sent you a lifetime link, right? Yep, because you bought a lifetime when I was running the dealership with Brian and stuff. Yep. Okay. Yep. But I honor that. I am 100% honoring that to you, and I think Jeff Sweeney got a lifetime also. Okay, all right, so let's get moving. So this is the art of the close, right? And the way we're gonna actually push you up and over the level of the close is one. Here, let me just go ahead and start showing you a little bit of what I'm going to go over. Here, one way that we're going to do it is we're gonna thanks, man. Thanks, Michael. One thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask for your full and undivided attention. Yes, right. Turn off all your distractions. Of course, you're gonna do whatever you want to do, but I'm asking you, please. Um, uh, this is one thing that you gotta. I want you just to kind of reset yourself and truly ask yourself, man. Because I'll tell you, it crushes me whenever I see low action takers, right? And then they get out in a month and they're worried about 99 bucks. Dude, if you're worried about 99 bucks, if you're worried about 249 bucks, if you're worried about $1,000 and you're over 22 years old, you got a problem. You need to change whatever you're doing and listen to me so that way we can get rid of that problem. Okay? And it shouldn't be like that. Right. And that's why on any kind of recurring stuff, I generally try to make it so cheap that it doesn't bleed somebody out. I don't want to hurt somebody. I want them to be 100% focused, but they have to buy in. You have to buy in. Right? Hey, Ryan, what's going on, Bubba? Good to see you. Hey, but you have to buy in. Now, in football, Coach Stewart, my coach in high school, used to be like, you got to leave it on the field. You know what it means when you leave it on the field? Let me ask you this. When's the last time anybody on this call has failed on something they didn't want to fail? When you wanted something so bad you couldn't stand it. When's the last time you failed at that? And if you did fail, take a step back and ask yourself honestly, did you give it your all? I'm willing to bet 99% of you didn't if you failed. If I want something, if I want to win bad enough, Scott Freeney, top 11 in the nation, I dominated him. Guy was a beast too, but he just wasn't as mean and bad as I was that night. Okay. Yes, of course. I know some of y'all got some loved ones. If you got to go take mama to dinner or something, or be with your significant other, yes, I'll have a replay to this. It is a 4-part course. I highly recommend you to do as much of it live as possible, but I can't force you to do anything. Okay. And I'm not charging you for it. Easily what I'm going to give you over the next four modules is a $1,000 value all day, every day. I'm going to go further in. If any of y'all seen it, and if you haven't, I'll get you access to it also. My Become a Closer or Die Trying. Hey, Joe, I'm going to give you access to that. It's going to be everything that was in that, except I'm going to teach you a little bit more on the front end where you put your mindset, tonality, and the way to come across. And then I'm going to finish with a ninja, a way that you've never been taught in your life that you could actually walk in and even get car dealers eating out of your hands. When I'm done showing you what I got, when I'm done showing you what I got, they'll trust you to babysit their kids. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, Rick, good to see you, man. We got Trucker Rick here. He got one of my Direct Hit Media trucker hats. The only other guy that got one. I love those hats. Hey, listen, I told you I do things different, right? Thank you, Rick. I do things different. I don't always go and play golf the way everybody else does. I try and play whatever way is fair, but yet I try and push the envelope because I like to win. Everything's black and white to me. Okay, there's either win or loss. And today and tonight and over the next 4 days, I'm giving all this effort and all this work and all this training and all this blood, sweat, and tears that it took me to learn this to you for free, just so you can win. Okay, that's how much I like to win. All right, and I want to see you win too. And here's what we're going to go over. Do you have the desire? Like, do you want to win bad enough to put yourself a little bit in an uncomfortable place? How many of you think that you have enough desire to take your business either to the next level, maybe take that step to get it started, or to take it over the top? Who wants to move it forward? Give me a 1 in the question box. If you already know that you're doing everything possible that you can, there's nothing that you can fix that would go any better, faster, or easier, you're going to maintain your course, put a 2 in the question box. Man, we got a lot of smart people here. We got most people are wise enough to know, man, we can always grow, right? If you're green, you grow. You're right, you rot. All right, let's keep going. Um, you got to have the desire. You heard that with Napoleon Hill, and that was one of the things that they talked about in Think and Grow Rich. You got to have the desire. Now, here's where they're being honest, and this is where I was honest. You know, like I had a partnership one time, and before we partnered, I said, "Well, how are we going to end it?" And he was like, "Man, we ain't even started yet." I'm like, "Well, dude, let's don't bullshit a bullshitter. Let's just go ahead and talk about how it's going to end first, because I don't like losing friends, and you normally do, right?" And that's what Napoleon Hill's showing you when he says, "What is it worth? What are you going to give, right, to come out on the other end of this, and whatever other promises we're going to make ourselves? What are you willing to give? Because careful what you wish for." You might laugh at this, but when I was 19 years old, I figured up if I made $65,000 a year, I could have the boat I wanted, I could have the house I wanted, the car I wanted, everything, right? And then I can remember thinking, man, 65 ain't shit. If I could just make 10 grand a month, if I could make 10 grand a month, I'd do anything. I made 10 grand a month when I was 19, right? I was working 9 to 9, 9 to 10 every day with one day off. And I can remember being like so exhausted, I could barely even wake up. And I thought, man, at least I'm making that 10 grand a month. Careful what you wish for, right? So if I would have known at that time when I was wishing for the 10 grand a month, I might not have said I'm willing to pay this for it. Okay. So hopefully you've got a piece of paper or something to write down notes. Let's be honest. What are we willing to pay? What are we willing to give back into the universe? What are we willing to give to come out a leveled up salesman closer in the next 4 days? Let's just keep it simple. What are you willing to give? Are you willing to give it all 4 days? You think you can make all 4 webinars at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m.? That's a small give, right? Put another 1 if you think you can. 2, are you willing to actually cancel other plans to make sure that you go through this? Are you willing to block everything out? Every other noise, every other idea, dime a dozen, every other $200 birthday t-shirt club, right? Are you willing to? I know, Pat, dude, I love you, bro. Are you ready to get serious about it? To where when you come out on the other side of this, you look back and you go, man, I can't believe I ever had that problem. And when you see somebody else that's actually hurting or making it's hard for them to close something, and they're struggling in sales, and it reminds you of you 2 weeks ago, and you almost giggle because, man, I can't believe I was that guy, right? Not only do I know exactly where I stand and where I want to go, and how I'm going to be a closer, I also know how to push somebody right to where they put their hand on the door, and then I take the deal, and I can almost make them dance if I wanted to, right? You can do that, and I'm going to show you. KPI dates. This is what we're going to talk about past Tuesday, right? After we finish this training. I would ask, if you want to get involved into what we're going to talk about here in 2 more things, I would ask that you put this on a document and email it to me. The real Sid Michael at gmail.com. SYDMICHAEL. Email it to me. I want to be involved in your business. I want to be involved with your life. I don't share, right? I don't kiss and tell, but I want to be involved so I can help in any way that I can. And you know what? Maybe I just looking over your sheet, maybe I just noticed one thing that I had a problem with that I could help you with a quick shout out, a quick email, or maybe even call you. Okay. And if I can do that and I help each one of you with just one thing, well, then I'll feel a little better about what I did on this earth when I was here. Okay. So KPI dates. It blows me away how many people don't even know really what KPIs mean, right? Does anybody keep up with KPIs in their business? It's pivotal points of interest, right? It's key spots, right? So example, in the car business, I used to keep up with ups, which are people through the front door. I used to keep up with test drives. I used to keep up with credit apps. or pencils and then credit apps, right? And so I knew, like, if I was suffering on selling enough cars, and I knew about what the percentages were, where I knew if I could get more ups, it would create more test drives and get more credit apps that would ultimately end up selling me more cars. How many customers do you got to talk to before you sell one? What's your closing ratio? Anybody keep up with that? I can tell you national average, but you should know that number. And if you don't know that number, you're sleepwalking through life. I'm just telling it real. I'm not hating on you. I've been there. I've sleptwalked through life. I've been slapped, burnt out where I couldn't even focus for a year. Right? Had all kinds of stuff. Everything from under the sun was hitting me. Force average was trying to eat me every day. Luckily, I'm too dumb to quit. That's why I'm here again. So you got to keep up with your numbers. If you don't know your numbers in business, I promise you 100% guaranteed you will fail. Got to know your numbers. And if you don't know your numbers, then other people that work with you or for you need to know your numbers, and you need to know your numbers to make sure they're telling you the real numbers, or you'll get robbed. It's happened to me. Straight robbed. Because I trusted somebody to keep up with their side of the numbers, and I kept up with mine. No, you need to know all your numbers. You got to dominate. You got to own it. You got to know what it is, what to expect. If you start letting everybody sleep around you, Warren Buffett says that. That was his one piece of advice. Don't sleepwalk through life. Take it serious. Let me ask this one more time. I just want to double check real fast before we keep going. And I don't want to say put a 1 in there because I want a heck yeah or a hell yeah, whatever you feel comfortable doing. If you're ready to quit sleepwalking, or if you feel like you were sleepwalking, or if you're going to make sure you're not sleepwalking right now with what you're about to learn over these first 4 modules, just put a hell yeah. I want to see who's ready to quit sleepwalking, because we're all guilty of it at one time or another. And if you haven't been sleepwalking, that's fine. But if you have, I want to see a heck yes or a hell yes. Because, I have. I'm guilty. I've burnt out before, right? And just, let everything get on top of me. And before you know it, your mind's, we used to call it pissed on your brain. I'm sorry for lack of better terminology. We used to call it getting pissed on your brain. And man, before you know it, like when people say nice shirt, you hear it as like, well, screw you. You don't hear it as, yeah, it is a nice shirt, isn't it? Right. And I'm telling you, man, that's a lonely place, and it's a dark place, and sometimes you don't come back, especially those of you that, like me, I don't have much family left. Right. If you're a guy that's, most of your family's already passed, no normal stranger gives a shit about you enough to get your head right again. You're in big times trouble, right? I got numbed down real bad in 2018 too. I had a ex-girlfriend get murdered, and dude, it to this day it just makes me sick to my stomach. It should not have happened, and it was a nasty thing, but it is what it is. And I didn't even think it was going to bother me, but damn, it did, dude. All right. Not only do we need to know our numbers, okay, we need a specialized knowledge. Now, hang on a second, right? What do you mean specialized knowledge? What are you going to be the best at? What are you the best at? One thing, damn, Michael, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But we'll talk about that next time we chat. One thing that you got to think about, right? What are you best at? My mentor, that's what he was great at. He saw what you were good at and kind of made you like the man for that. You were like almost the manager for that, to the point where I was good at customer service and diffusing heated customers. Literally, we had a guy come in one time. He had to return his car. He brought a gun, said, I ain't returning it. They were like, Sid Michael, come to the office. Sid Michael, it wasn't even my customer. I went out there, spent 3 hours, talked to the guy with the gun, and got the car back. I mean, I wasn't going to let anybody else do it. Hell, I was the best. So why would I let somebody take a chance of getting hurt when the best is here? Right? Terrell Owens is here. Throw me the ball. We'll win, coach. Right? But he was really good at getting everybody who was great at something to do that one thing, and it made a great team. But now you got to be honest with yourself, because see, most of you are probably either one employee or just a few employees. And I'm telling you, whether you're one or a few, it's a very lonely place because nobody's there telling you great job. Hopefully you got a strong, support system, family, wife, husband that's telling you good job. But I know a lot of you don't have that. And that freaking crushes me that I know that you're getting beat up for trying to live out a dream. Right. But you got to figure out, what are you great at? And you need to label yourself that. The best way to brand yourself is to label yourself. Either you're the SEO godfather, I don't care if you're the website guru, whatever you want to say, the people's people, whatever you want to say. But you need to figure out what it is that you're great at, and you want to make sure that you specialize in it. Gene Kalinda went to a mastermind last week with some guys. I saw some of their training. It was pretty good. He was actually talking about KPIs too, ironically. And she told me, she goes, yeah, this one guy's niche was he went after daycares. I mean, okay. But once you get that reputation that you're going after just daycares, if you're a daycare, are you going to go give your stuff to anybody else? All right, Ryan. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, brother. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a lonely place to be sitting there. No, entrepreneurship. That's why the suicide rate's so high. You got nobody that's patting you on the back. You got nobody who's really telling you good job. And scary enough, you got to be careful who you tell what you're doing. They'll launch your shit. I got a buddy who every time I open my mouth, he's launching it. You know what I mean? And I don't care. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I hope everybody. I'm actually one of those guys that hopes everybody kicks ass. I want everybody to have a Ferrari. That's what I'm talking about. Joe, you are, man. You're a stud. Yeah, I bet, man. Well, that's why I started to cancel this call, because it was V-Day or whatever. And then I thought, you know what? I don't want to be by myself on Valentine's myself. I'll start thinking about Anna. So you know what? Maybe some other guys are feeling the same way, or girls are feeling the same way. Let's get on here and let's party and let's have a good time. Let's talk some business and make ourselves better, right? Know that somebody cares about you. I care about you, bro. You know what I mean? I know y'all care about me. I appreciate it, man. So next, and I hope you're going to be excited about this. I do have a group that I want to do a mastermind, and the mastermind, love conquers all, man. The mastermind is Digital Sales Academy, right? And there is a Facebook group, and I'm going to get to that. But we are going to have a mastermind, and this is a mastermind where you can go and you know that you're going to get guaranteed the same black and white. I'll never take the easy right or the easy, wrong over the hard right. Right? I have something instilled in me that I feel like my dad's watching or something. I don't know, man. I just don't want an asterisk next to my name. You'll get solid advice, and if there's people in my mastermind, it's funny how you attract people just like yourself, right? We're all a lot alike, and I know that because I get on the phone and talk to all you guys, right? So we are going to have a mastermind, and maybe something else will get maybe something else will get pretty hip to that or whatever. Maybe we'll add more to it and do some more events. But right now, the mastermind's for this and to hold each other accountable. Okay. Now, here's the last thing. And if how many of you have read Think and Grow Rich? I know a bunch of you actually watched it when I sent it to you, but how many of you actually have read it other than this? Uh-oh. Okay. It's a good book, right? And it is a tough read, man. That's why you got to watch. Man, come on now, Audible, baby, get the Audible. Since we're talking about books, you want me to recommend the best book I've read in 10 years? Straight up, Chris Voss. Don't split the difference. One of the best freaking books. I mean, I was glued to it, and maybe because he actually uses when he bought his Forerunner, the way he negotiated it, he used that to explain negotiations. But he was the head FBI international, the only international FBI negotiator, and this guy is next level. And he talks about current events and things that happen, and you relate to it because you remember it being on the news. It's hands down the best book. Make a recommendation, get the Audible, right? But one thing, the last thing that Napoleon told us that was just brilliant, and this is so freaking real, man. This is real. Fast decisions, slow change. Right? Fast decisions, slow change. Now, this also comes in other ways. When you sit there and you overanalyze and you practice and you role play and you try and get every word just like Sid said and blah 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 blah, and then you go into pitch and what happens? What happens? You got to make halftime adjustments. It happens every time, even in the pros. You don't think Belichick makes halftime adjustments? The book named Joe Tran is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. It's excellent. I'll in the mastermind group, the Facebook group or whatever, Digital Sales Academy, I'll post a link to it. Okay, but you got to make halftime adjustments. It's never going to go down the way you want. They're like kids. You know, kids make you a liar every time, right? You know, kids they'll be like, hey, show so and so this, and they won't do it, right? That's the way customers are too. That's the way life is. You know why? You know why it is? It's a fact, my friend. And a good buddy of mine, mentor guy that I look up to a lot and do a lot of. I talk with him. I negotiated a couple of his exotics for him. Ryan Stewman, he calls it the force of average, and he is right, man. That force of average is what beats most people down into giving up. And if you give up, and if you make the right decisions to do just the right thing all through life, the world is designed to leave you at average. You got to disrupt decisions sometimes. Sometimes you got to maybe not do what your mom and dad told you. Maybe you got to cut off a brother that doesn't have something good to say to you. Not that mine does. I love my brother to death. Limited conversations, but still, he's a good man, right? But sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to cut the fat. And did you know that when you're willing to cut the fat, when you're willing to jump in the deep water, when the water's deep, you learn to swim. When you're willing to cut all the ties, all your support systems, all your oh shit handles, and actually commit at that level, the rate of success is almost twice more apt to happen. But that comes all the way back to number one. You got to have the desire. You got to be willing to give up something for it. You got to plan your date. You got to reread it every day before you go to bed and when you wake up. Why are you doing that? Why do you reread it every day when you wake up and go to bed? Does anybody know why you would do that? This sounds foo-foo to me, or did in the old days. You got to rewire. That's right. You reread your plan, what you're projecting, your KPIs, what you're projecting, where you want to be at. Michael, I love you, brother. You're programming your subconscious. Now, why is it important to program your subconsciousness in business? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you a hint. I'm not going to make any of you think real hard. Your subconscious mind is never idle. It is running all the time. Maybe a tortoise, maybe it ain't doing like a rabbit pace, but it's running all the time. And when you can have an employee that works 24/7 all the time, it's the difference, right? It's a full-time overtime employee that's just constantly going. And again, if you don't have your mind right, man, it's insane. Like how powerful words and insecurity and rejection and just ugly stuff is to all of us. But I'll tell you this, it's just as ugly to me as it is to you. And I've had it happen to me, and I'm sure you probably have had it happen to you. And that's okay. I'm here to I got your back. IGY6, I got your 6, right? And I know if I needed, you got my 6 too. I see Jason Whitman on the call here. Jason lives all the way in Hollywood, California. I called him one time. I had a friend that needed $100. He didn't have to go do it, but he would have. He was ready to go do it. That's when I was like, dude, I love this dude. Like that's my kind of people right there. When you got people you can call that'll handle your stuff like that when you really need it, that's what it's all about. All right. And that's my purpose here, right? Is to kind of get us all on that path and to be able to be around some people that you can share yourself and grow with. Okay. Now, listen, I know all of you, most of you have seen me talk about this all the time. Do you know why I bring this up on every single freaking training I've ever done? Because it means that much. And it's the 3 rules that I tell myself every day before I walk into a client. I tell myself, I don't know why I do it when I brush my teeth, because I think I used to do it then when I was in the car business. I don't know, but every time I brush my teeth, for some reason, I I think of these rules. Every day I act like today I'm going to forget one of them. I never forget them. In fact, they have to be worded exactly the same every time, right? Real quick, anytime two people meet, a sale is made. So if you go and you pitch somebody, I'm just going to shoot you real. I'm going to be black and white with you here, win loss. You pitch somebody and they gave you whatever the hell they said, whatever reason they couldn't do it. It don't matter what it was. They sold you, man. That's a fact. Now, the beautiful thing on the flip side of that is, if every time you meet a sale is made, that means there's a deal every time you talk. And you're right, there is. Does anybody know the secret to finding those deals? You think you got to keep talking and get slicker or smoother or funnier or wittier to get those deals? Hell no. You got to ask questions. You got to have empathy, and you got to care, and you got to find that pain point. Anytime that you don't close a deal, it's because you didn't find the right pain point. Because if you find the right pain point, then there's no question what rule number 2 is about. Value over price equals a sale. It's simple. When you go to do a trial close, and you'll get familiar with these terms because we're going to go over this over the next few days, but when you go to do your trial close, if they don't bite on the trial close, you do one more trial close, they don't bite on the second one, you back up, you start over, and you go, hang on a second. Dude, I'll literally disrupt the whole deal and go, whoa, hold on, hang on. Let me be honest with you. I must have did a shortcut. I've been real busy today. I'm hungry. I must have left something out because normally people are grabbing this contract out from my hand right now. So let me just re-go over it to make sure you understand everything. You do understand we're doing this, that, and I'll redo $1 million walk around, whatever I'm presenting, because I know I got to put value in it. If you ain't got the value, nobody's ever gonna, if it's worth $2 in their head, they ain't never gonna pay you $3 for it. It's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. You understand that? Value over price equals sell in relationships and friendships and trainers and mentors and business partners and gas stations and lottery tickets, right? If that shit ain't showing more value than what you're paying for it, guess what? We lose interest really fast. Anybody here keep interest in something that don't give them any value? No, I didn't think so. And lastly, and I love this one, and I like to bring it up often because I see so many of the internet marketers step all over themselves on these. And I'm thinking, man, what a rookie ass. I can't believe this guy's saying he's running a 7-figure business and he can't figure this one out, right? Because this is a rule that you learn quickly. And talking about wisdom, Dale Carnegie actually brings up this exact rule in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. How many people have read that book? Great book, right? Remember when he's sitting there and he's eating dinner, him and his boss, and they're eating dinner with the potential client, and he says, oh, this is a great piece of Beethoven, or whatever he said, and it was Bach or whatever. And so Dale immediately corrects him, and then his boss goes, no, it's not. It's Beethoven. And he knew his boss was more into classical than he was. Why would his boss just clearly make him back this guy up when he's wrong? You know what I mean? Well, I'll tell you why he backed him up, because Dale was being a rookie, kind of like them 7 quote unquote figure marketers. He was winning the argument and losing the deal. They are true. You're right. They're very true, man. Write these down, please. Write them down where you'll read them every single day and remind yourself. I promise you it'll make a change. I don't mean to get all spiritually hoo-hoo here, but I'm going to tell you something else, man. I'm going to tell you something that was an absolute, instantaneous relief in my life with a tough year that I had. And it was something so simple. So simple. Literally, it was like taking a pill. No, it was like taking an IV, because it hit me. Boom. Immediately. It was almost magical feeling. Does anybody know how to get your head right? Almost instantaneous. Almost tomorrow. Literally, especially after a couple days, it is effective immediately. You know how to get your head right? It's simple. When you wake up in the morning, before you brush your teeth, before you do anything, you be honest and you tell yourself 5 things that you're grateful for, that you're not entitled, you didn't deserve. You're grateful because you got them. You're humble that you're willing to have this, because not everybody has everything that you have. But you list 5 things, whether it's your mama, whether it's a check you made, whether it's your doggy, whatever. Whether it's your new RV, I don't know, whatever. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what you're humble for, man. If you'll start saying that the first thing out of your mouth when you wake up in the morning, watch how fast it changes you, dude. I'm telling you, you're gonna think somebody has a voodoo doll putting pin cushions in you. Like, you're gonna be like, somebody's done mess with me because something's changed. It works like that, right? So we're we're uh, we're not done yet, right? We still got more to figure out, but that was pretty much the mindset of it. And I hope you took notes, or you've been on one of my trainings before, because you'll hear me talk about those quite often, right? Where are you now? Where do you stand as a salesperson, right? And there's three different levels. And I think by you understanding where you stand, it then allows you to learn, kind of have a little bit more direct focus on where you need to go. Now, I'll tell you, the lady that did 8 figures in one day at that event was a level one. She thought, I think she had a little bit of natural to her. She was good at, TO, and, they raised their hand. I went over and closed their customer for them. Right. But, you know, she wasn't a one. Okay. But it's okay if you are. Let me tell you what a one is. You got an order taker, a presenter, and a closer. Does anybody know the difference in all three? Well, even if you do, we're going to still go over them. One, order taker, right? What is an order taker? What's the difference between an order taker and a presenter, which would be number two? Right. They're scripted. They're reading a script. Even worse, they sound like they're reading a script, right? But they're an order taker. They pretty much can take your order. However, if you didn't tell them you wanted fries, they wouldn't really even probably suggest you to even get fries. And it's okay, because let me tell you something. You have to be a great order taker as one of your skills to be a great closer. But you'll never be a closer if you don't know how to take orders. But they don't have all the skills. They just have the taking order side, right? It's funny you said that, Mr. Whitman, because number two, presenter, right? A presenter. This is the guy that's very knowledgeable about the product. So you're exactly right. An order taker doesn't really know anything about the product. But a presenter, we all had this guy. We made him take our test to get us certified, right? You give him $20, he'd certify you. So you have to spend 4 hours taking, bullcrap tests, right? He knew things that nobody cared about: lug nut pattern, size, pounds per square inch, all that crap, right? And it's okay if you are this guy. That's why we want to figure out where you're at and what you are, because here's what happens. And since you piped up, John, I love you. But you overanalyze sometimes, and you overanalyze because you want to do your best you can do. But sometimes simple is better. Sometimes, like in the car business, they tell us, don't get too smart, you'll quit making money. And they were right. October 27th, 1994, I started the car business. I made like $4,800 in the last 3 days of October. I made $12,000 in November. I made $11,000 in December. I made $1,500 in January. What happened? I got too smart. I started overanalyzing. I started thinking I could answer the questions. I started thinking I could smell the blood. I started thinking I had the magic that my mentor had. I quit TO, and I started walking people and thinking, oh, they said they'd be back. I can tell, right? But how in the heck could I ever be anywhere near at 3 months in the business as somebody who'd been in it 20 years, like Mr. Reinhardt, who taught me everything? I had to literally bite my lip, and he would load my lips. Man, I would say, man, I'll tell stories one day when we got extra time. The stuff they used to make us say, man, is lucky I didn't get punched. But that was the way they taught us back then. But I would bite my lip. And, dude, it was so magical that what he would say would actually close the customers. I didn't even call it, hey, man, can I have you come talk to my customer? I go, John, listen, these people ain't going to buy, but, dude, I need your magic. I know you can get them to buy. Like, I called it and thought of it as magic. What a perfect green pea, right? If I could get 100 of them, we'd be rich. Lastly, a closer. What makes a closer different than a presenter or an order taker? Can a closer take orders? Yes. Can a closer present? Absolutely. But a closer is so comfortable where they're sitting and what they're doing. One, out of practice, right? And we'll get back to that here in a second. But one, because they practice, they do it so repetitiously that it becomes second nature to them. They don't even, their heart doesn't even like raise a beat. You know, they've had like their serial killers that can actually like go murder their families and literally don't, their pulse stays the same. It's because they've killed so many people, it doesn't even bother them anymore. Well, unfortunately, sales and certain skills are the same way. Once you get to the point where, you know, I pity the fool that shook my hand because I knew, man, I might be starving. I haven't eaten all day. I've had 7 deals back to back, been in this office for 9 hours. But I pity the fool that comes in there. Even if he was that big jerk, loudmouth, hateful bully, put you down, make fun of you, embarrass you guy. He didn't stand a chance. Because what he did once every 4 years, I did 20 times a day. And you met your match, sucker. Right? I'd put them asleep. They'd wake up the next day with a car in their driveway, a bathtub full of ice, missing a kidney. I done pawned it too. You know what I mean? Like, don't get my tongue split. I'll do it. I'm telling you, I'll talk you out of your kidney. You know what I mean? That's how comfortable you get with it. And a closer, all they're doing is they understand the psychology of people so much that they know you can never tell. You got that friend. I got a friend, Chris Martin, man. If I ever told him anything, I told him wisdom because I was a year older than him. But I would tell him something. It's like he didn't hear me. Once he figured it out, he was like the dang preacher on a soapbox about it. I'm like, bro, I was telling you that like 2 years ago. Right? Well, the truth is, everybody's like that. You're not going to force anybody into submitting to your way of thinking or doing what you think. It's going to be their idea, and it's going to be their conclusion. So being a closer is nothing but clearing off the path so the decision is easy. Kind of like the way you do your kids, but suaver. You know, like when you do your kids, like, hey, do you want to go take the trash out and have to do 35 burpees at the street, or do you want to go to Six Flags? Oh, you want to go to Six Flags? Okay. Right? Of course you want to go to Six Flags. Screw the burpees and screw taking the trash out. Right? Kind of like that. Kind of like that. And on the third part of this course, we're going to go into what even makes that elite. And what happens is if you can start hearing the rejections, or you know the objections that you're going to get, you can cover those in the presentation when they don't see or they don't know what angle they're coming from. Because see, listen, most people are coming up with objections or reasons they can't do it. They're just trying to figure out where you're going so they can say they got this and cut you off so they don't have to buy. They're not mentally engaged because you've not asked them about themselves enough. You probably went in with a lead-in product, right? A foot in the door, as they call it. He don't need it. You're just talking at him. You haven't listened to his pain points. You started every sentence with I. You told all your stories. And the guy honestly wants to get you the hell out of there. That's the truth. And there's actually a terminology for that. You know, there's 3 different yeses, right? And you get a counterfeit yes. How many knew what a counterfeit yes was? I didn't even know counterfeit yeses existed until I met Chase. And he explained it to me. I kind of understood. I'm like, man, I can see why you would do that. But he's like, man, I hate it because people think I'm like bullshitting. But yeah, I'll say I'll meet you for lunch, and I don't show up. I'm too busy. They should know. I told them 10 times I couldn't leave, but they kept asking, so I just said, all right, I'll see you there. Right? Right? Like, don't want to be confrontational. Right? Just so you know the 3 yeses, and we'll go back over this in a little bit. Confirmation yes, and a commitment yes. A commitment yes is only real yes out of all of them. The rest of them are really left-handed turn downs. That's why shit goes like south and you don't know why. Right? That's right. Dude, the supermarket's got a lot of psychology in everything that they do. I had a buddy that did produce, and it was insane because it made sense too, though. All right. So you got order taker, presenter, closer. Give me, put the number in the box right now. We can document where are you and who you are. Write it down in your notes also. If you think you're an order taker today, put a 1. If you think that you're a presenter, put a 2. And if you think you're a closer, put a 3. And it's cool if you're a closer too. Now, let me ask you something. Those of you that are putting 2s, have you never closed a deal before? Or you just thought a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while too? You've closed the deal. You just don't think you're a closer. You think it was timing? Yeah. Yep. You think it was timing, or do you think it might have been your mindset at the time? Think your mindset was a little different? Some people, before they got their balls snipped off in '08, right? We all did. Man, was flying high, flying real high, because you believed in yourself, right? Because you believed in yourself. That kind of ties back to the beginning, what I was talking about. Do you see how powerful freaking mindset is? That's really the difference between now. You haven't lost the skill. You lost the mindset. You lost the faith. You lost the belief. Now we're going to rebuild you, give you a couple new clubs to put in the bag, all those old clubs that you already know, and some even better ones. Hey, I go over this. I go over this, and I say this, and you know, my father was military. He was U.S. Marine, right? Did a tour in Vietnam, but I do it because I want to make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. Sometimes people are driving, or they can't respond, or they don't want to respond on it. You know, you're thinking, man, can they even hear me, or what's going on? But the reason why we say that, we say Roger that, and Roger that's just a quick way to say, man, I got the message. I understand what you're saying. Roger that. And obviously, in the military, they have code words so they can descriptively send across, certain messages. And Romeo is the R, so they use Roger, right? Romeo. Received is what it really means, so receive that. So what you're saying is receive that when you say Roger that. So if you put in there Roger that, I won't keep asking. And if you'll notice, I'll ask questions like 6 different ways, right? Because I'm trying to get the confirmation that you're getting it. But you can just put a Roger that in, and Sid won't go over it 6 different ways. We'll keep moving. Kind of cool, right? All right, that's the only inside tip I'm telling you about me. All right, actions. We're going to get trained. However, no matter how hard you try, and I know there's some on the call that are going to try and make it complicated, I'm not going to let you, because what we're going to go over is not complicated. What we're going to go over is simple. And anything that's going to be outside your comfort zone or your box, I got your 6. I'm going to lead for you, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you ways that it's going to blow you away. I'm telling you, by the end of the 4 days, you're going to be like, I cannot believe we learned everything we learned, because we're going to be going over all of it. And I'm going to show you stuff I promise you've never done in your life. And at the end of 4 days, you're going to walk in, even to a car automotive general manager who everybody fears. And that guy's going to be eating out of your hands, wanting you to babysit his kids, and you're going to land them. And how many of those do you need to make a difference in your life? I'm going to tell you, not many. In 2006, I did what, 656, almost 700 grand on like 11 clients. So not many. Okay. Oh, hang on. And then we're going to move out, right? We're going to move out and we're going to take action. Okay. What services are you offering? Everybody offers something different. I like to, talking about keep it simple, I came up with the terminology Core 4, right? And I even think about now GMB, I'm thinking about calling it Core 4 plus 1, right? And I have a group that we actually call it Digital Sales Academy, but it has Biz Builder Hub, Drops 360, and My Sales Manager in it. But I have a group where we do the fulfillment form on this, and we got some killer looking stuff here. You want to see one of my websites? Hang on a second, I got it right here. I just had it up, so I was gonna here we go. This is a website I just built. Please don't call them. But this is a website we just did. I literally hot potatoed it. But you'll see that I'm keeping everything simple, right? That's the most important part. This is it. It's the website. Restaurant. They were on Wix. They went to WordPress. Okay, beautiful, right? The lady that the gentleman owns its wife, I love her to death, man. She actually has some marketing background too. Worked in New York, and she gets it. So it makes everything even better. And you can't scroll down and see it. hang on a second. I don't show below that, but anyways, if it did, hang on, let me see if I can make it go. If it did, oh, here you go. Look, what does that say? Hey, baby, what? Come on, right? Anybody know what we sold that website for? Take a big guess. Some of you should know if you're in some other stuff. Others maybe or maybe not. Right? I'm gonna show you one more. What do you think the Chinese restaurant paid for their website? 6,000. 6,000 is what I sold her website for. Here's the only thing that's funky about it, man. When I priced her, she goes, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome, Sid." She goes, "I got to be honest." I said, "What?" She goes, "I thought it was gonna be 3 times that amount." Man, talk about wanting to jump off a roof. I left 12 grand on the table. Not that I would have charged her that anyway, because I love this lady. She was worth it. She was like the mayor, right? But dude, I just did what the heck I train and teach y'all not to do. I left money on the table. I I pre I read a book. I looked at the cover and thought I knew the book. I put a figure in my head that I thought this lady couldn't pay more than. Now I'm glad she got a good deal, and I think 6,000 is plenty for what we did. But man, if you're green, you grow. You ripe, you rot. That's right. She sold me, didn't she? Right? Or I sold myself. I actually derailed myself. Here's another website we did, Talk Legends. We're taking all the talk radio here in Jackson, and we're going digital with it. No more towers, no more crap, and we're going to dominate because our overhead's going to be near nothing. Now, unfortunately, we did it to get Bill Way back, and the gentleman died 2 weeks after we started. Right? Yeah, the hosting. I did pick up 149, but yeah, I could have. Yeah. Yeah, don't trust me. I started to go, oh, that's just the first payment. I thought of every possible whatever, right? Right here, Sid Michael, right? I think his site looks pretty good. Are you fucking with me, Joe? I think that thing looks good. What do you think about his logo? I don't like the name of his show because it doesn't tell you what it is, right? It's business. I think you're better off like with a podcast to be what your show's about. Although the some people love themselves so much they even highlight their name. But yeah, I love his piece right here, right? We did this with 99 Designs, but yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? Simple, clean, hot, right? Yeah, the guy died. Bill Way, he passed away 2 weeks in. It was awful, man. Like he had a huge following. He was a magical dude, but at least we got to spend time with him. And we waited for him to get out of a year non-compete, which, man, don't tell me things don't happen for a reason. The guy went through a non-compete, went up to the lake, spent time with his grandkids, loved to fly drones. If he wouldn't have never the other stuff that that made him quit and get the non-compete, if he never would have done that, he'd have died working. You know what I mean? He needed that year. Stuff happens for a reason. I'm telling you, it does. You learn that as you get older, don't you? Quit getting mad about stuff and know that it's going to take care of itself. It's funny how that works. All right. Well, I just want to show off my websites. Here's the deal. By the way, Mr. Non-Technical Sid, right? When I sold computer parts, I sold them by the part numbers, had no clue what the freaking thing I was selling would do, right? But I found people that are great at technical, that are obviously brilliant at websites. And I share them with everybody in my Biz Builder Hub course, right? I let anybody that wants to use them can use them also, right? So this is pretty slick. Check this out. I got this guy too. Here, I don't need to brag real quick, but I want you guys to see this real quick. And we just closed a roof with this thing, and got paid on it. And I'm going to come up with some stuff here shortly and share that with everybody. But man, I'm telling you right now, it's easy to mogul businesses because they can't do it and they need it and it's expensive, and therefore, who better than us, right? I'm a 50% owner of it's okay, man. Don't sweat it, buddy. There's going to be a replay, I promise. Always. Yeah. Look, I hope you're out doing some Valentine stuff. we're, I won't say it because I hope not to offend anybody. I joke with people because I don't. If I'm not out with a girlfriend or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I'm over here in the non-fucking section. You were lucky, Richard. You got to go out. you know. But look, yeah, uh, we bought in and we built this site, right? So Andrew did this site and graphics. He's redoing the logo and whatnot. I think he did a pretty good job. Uh, Texas Roofing. Hang on a second. Let me. I don't know. Let's do this. Take that out. Boom. Bam. How you like me now? Come on. Oh no, slow upload. We got to get on to him. We got to get on to him here. There you go. Right. So this is a clean site too. I think. I think Andrew did a good job. Andrew's the guy doing my back end now that is absolutely been a lifesaver too. I love him to death. We're 24/7 because he's exact opposite hours of me. Right. Um, so, anyways, so if you need any of that stuff, needless to say, you got it. Okay. Um, let's get back on course, and I'll quit showing off my grandkids. Right. I'm like an old lady showing her pictures of her grandkids here. All right. I'm proud of them. I can't help it. Look, Andrew, just that Jim McCarty guy might be one of my leads. Um, let's see here. I was doing live cold calls today for the 1% call, and I wanted people to hear it. But let's see here. Hang on a second. I think this is where I would have whatever I need right there. Boom. So that's the core four, right? So that is exactly why, right? That's exactly. We have a Drupal guy too, because we got hospitals around here, a bunch of them. But I call it the core four, right? So yeah, so the HTML also. We do the core four for one reason, it's to make it simple. When I go in, same thing with direct mail. Anybody here was in my mastering direct mail course that I did 5 years ago? Everybody walks in with an envelope full of 100 mailers and throws them all over their desk, and the guy's like, I don't know which one I want. I mean, they all look good. I mean, which one works? I want you to think for me, right? I walked in with 4 mailers, depending on what they said. If they wanted new, used, whatever they were looking to help, brand, whatever, boom, here's your mailer. I gave them 1. I took 4 in, gave them 1. No matter what these other 3 are, you want used cars, you need to use that one. Make it simple, stupid, and make sure you're the expert when doing so, right? These 2 things help your position to properly frame, pitch anything, right? People know what I'm talking about, to then close more deals. That's a fact, right? Give you an example of what like frame and position are like where your position is on an offer, right? There's a difference between you saying, hey, listen, like I'm in a bad position. If I call somebody up and go, hey man, just come following up. You want that website yet? Right? I'm begging them. They're giving me time. Bad position. If he calls me and says, man, I got to have a website, I'm like, all right, well, hold on a second. I'll come over and I'll talk to you about it. Who's in better position? It's the whole reason why we got on voice drops originally. It was something cooler about somebody calling you going, hey man, I like what you got, tell me more, than it was calling somebody up going, hey, can I talk to you about something? I want to you're over there, looking like a chump, right? That position makes or breaks the difference between good and great of being a closer or any sales. Okay. So I want to show you the difference in this position. Hey, I'm going to teach you how to sell small businesses. Well, nobody wants to sell anything. Like salesman's like I got a book title. I'll mention to a couple of y'all in private and see if y'all think. I think it's funny. But I'm going to teach you how to sell small businesses. Nobody wants to sell shit, right? I'm going to teach you how to set up your agency to where small businesses want to hire you. Right? See how the position with a little bit of verbal judo? Did you hear that? I said verbal judo. It's not being slimy. It's not being sleazy. It's playing the field that the world has given you, and you better learn how to play it because ignorance is no exception to the law. You can change a sentence just like that and completely switch the position of power in a conversation by being conscious, aware, familiar, letting them talk. So they got everything out on the table. You're the one that's sniper shooting questions, because what are you doing? Cleaning out the path to make it clear so the decision is easy, right? At the end of the day, man, when we wake up, and I say this all the time, and I'm not saying that a sheep's a bad person. Trust me, I'm not. I respect them. I don't know how those red shirts got hit all the time. I'd crush them. They never got to play in the game, right? I always respected them. But when you wake up, when you're going to business, when you're going to battle, when you're going to war, what we're going to do over the next 6 days over these 4-part courses, you can be a sheep and just kind of sit back in the weeds and kind of listen. Or you can be a wolf. You can be a wolf, man, and you can take it. Richard, it's funny you said that. You know how many times I would go to close a deal, and the customers would say, "Man, we've been trying to buy, but the guy won't quit talking. He keeps trying to sell us, and it's getting annoying." Right? Because he didn't hear the bell ring, right? He didn't know. Oh, there's the bell. Here comes the cheese. I need to shut up and write up. And I teach you that when we go through the steps to the sale, the road to a sale. Right after, if they pass that second trial close, what happens next? They see the top of your head, writing that shit up. Right? Don't talk yourself back into a ticket. But you got to be a wolf, man. You got to take everything you got to make your responsibility. You're accountable for. No, you're not. Nobody's a victim. No successful person is. You stick with me, I promise you'll dominate your sector and be a closer by Tuesday, or on your way to being one, for sure. I love to help others. You should too. I know. I'll mention Jason Whitman. Jason helps me all the time. Jason Whitman's done counseling and helped people. Even did like hypno stuff. He's done cold calling, drug counseling, all kinds of stuff. But Jason's, helped me for years now. I think since he came to Atlanta in 2013, I met him in person. Maybe even a year before that when he first bought one of my courses. But he knows what he's doing. He helps me out all the time. But you know what? When Jason needs help, I help him back. What's the last thing I helped you with, Jason? I helped you. You bought a new van, right? I called a couple of vans and tried to to get him the best deal because he's my buddy, right? Roger that. Everybody receive this message? If you have, yeah, your new old van. Yeah. If you received it, then we're done for the day. All right. And I hope you took notes, and I hope that all this resonates with you because, listen, trust me, because I went over this in let's see how long, hour and 6 minutes, probably an hour because I bet we started about 6 minutes late. Let's just say that. Because I went over this in an hour does not mean it's simple. Doesn't mean it's not important. It's freaking gold, dog. I'm telling you, it is. It's gold. This is what takes all your life. This is the stuff you figure out right before you die. Right? So you need to get the goodie while you can get it. Use it as much as you possibly can. I appreciate you too, bro. I really do. All right. Good news is we got 3 more. So ingest this. I will get the replay out immediately. I will not get up from this seat. I'm going to do the replay right now to make sure. I hate Skype, man. If I turn on Skype, I get killed. Be honest with you, man. Just hit me on Messenger. I'd rather get on the phone than Skype. It's so annoying too, that ring. God. Yeah, just hit me on Messenger and I'll we'll jump on the phone and chat. I'm cool. Just don't get mad at me when I'm busy. I had a guy get mad at me the other day because I didn't call him back quick enough on Saturday morning. He was buying a car and I didn't, whatever. He canceled everything and got mad at me. But it is what it is, right? I'm gonna jump on here and do the replay right now, okay? And get it back out and put it right now. Every one of you here. In fact, let me just show you what it looks like so we can hang on, make sure there's no naked girls talking to me. Okay. I'm glad that I checked this out before I did it. Chase sent one of his nasty ass jokes to me. God, man, that boy is a sick puppy. Hang on a second. I'm going to take this over here. Hopefully he won't send anything like that again. And let's go to Digital Sales Academy so you can see where I'm telling all of you to go, because this is where I'll be dropping a lot of the stuff. Right there, Digital Sales Academy. Bada boom. right? One day I'll tell you the story behind that logo. Y'all laugh, man. Fake it until I make it. I did that logo. That is not Photoshop, but I made that entire logo. But uh, right here, I'm going to put the replay right here. Every one of you, if you want to get in this, or if you're not in it, or if you're going to get in it, jump in. This is going to be our mastermind. This is where we're going to meet. And eventually, I'm going to start doing events again with this crew right here. Okay. And man, I don't know if any of you have been to my events, but they're fun, man. I do something different than anybody does. When you come to my events, you leave with more revenue and more customers than you come with. There's none of that pitching you 19 people, you know, how you're going to get all kinds of, leads or something, and then tell you, man, you need to start focusing. You got shiny object syndrome. Well, bro, you just had freaking 10 of your best dudes pitch me. Huh. And there's always naked women dancing on tables. That's how I lost my Fitbit last time. All right. Digital Sales Academy. David, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, it's free. Digital Sales Academy, but I'm going to drop this as soon as this replay renders. Booyah! I'm going to drop it right here so you can watch what we talked about before this. Okay. Make sure you hug and kiss mama. Tell your significant other you love them. Lie if you don't feel like telling them. Seriously, because they deserve to hear it today. All right. All right, brother. Good to see you. Always good to see all y'all, man. I love to see your names. Good to see you, Lou. Good to see you, Joe. All you guys, man. Thank you, Jason, David, Pat, Rock and Roll Ayatollah. Yeah. Well, that's okay, man. Well, hey, do me a favor, Lou. Don't be a stranger, man. Reach out to me. I want to talk to you again, man. I want to see how you've been doing and what you've been up to. All right. See if I can help you out in any way. Okie dokie. All right. Let's rock and roll. See you. See you, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow night, Friday night.